Peace fam, it's the Pressure Cooker and I'm back with another video. So I wanted to come on and do a very quick review and share my thoughts about Tasha K's interview with Chay. I finally figured out what her name was. So it is Chay, the woman who got into it with Tommy Sotomayor on Dutty and Rank's podcast. So let's get into it. We're going to break it down. The format of the interview was that Tasha K talked with her for a while, asked her a few questions, and then she had different guests from the chat come up and actually ask questions. And so it was very interesting, very, very interesting. So let's unpack a few of the things. So Chay went back into her story. I've heard it already. I heard most of what I heard directly from her came from Kwame Brown's platform, because there's no way in hell I'm watching Sotomayor's channel. So anyway, I saw her on Kwame Brown's channel, and that was really the main reason I watched this video, was to hear what she had to say. And so she had outlined what had happened with the her getting her and her friend flying out to go be with Tommy, and then he said something about OnlyFans. She said no, her friend did it, and he paid the friend $2,500. That's a whole nother story, because guys, first of all, I'm sure this man is probably not even having protected sex with these women. It's just crazy. $2,500 is like beans. It's just sad. So anyway, she said no, and she went home or whatever. And he had tried to throw that back in her face at the podcast when she was calling him out about a few things. So how she unfollowed him on social media because he was always hating on black women. So he tried to make it seem like he rejected her. I actually do believe Chay that she said no to him. Now, here's what I think in the interview. In the interview, I did feel like, from what I've heard her say on Kwame Brown's channel, most of the things were similar, but some of the things kind of sounded like she changed a couple things. It could just be me. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Now, I guess to be fair, I should have actually written down what it was that I thought, but it was so slight. It wasn't that she was flat out lying. It was more so that I felt like she tweaked some of the things, and some of the things that she was saying didn't really make sense. But for the most part, I felt like her story stayed the same. So anyway, y'all know by now what happened on Dutty and Rank's podcast, that, Tommy and her got into it. He started to disrespect her, and then she swung on him. In this interview, she's saying that Tommy had actually pushed Myron, which I think is one of the Dutty and Rank members, but pushed Myron into her, which is she took as a sign of aggression, and she said she hit him. Now, it was very hard to see all the details in that video, so it's really hard to say if that is what happened or not. Doesn't matter. I'm not the judge, so who cares? But it did seem to me that she was the one swinging on him. He did agitate her. He did disrespect her. And so she did swing on him. I already know how I feel about that. I don't support violence. But at the same time, I said before, Tommy Sotomayor had it coming. Somebody should have been punched him dead in his throat. Okay, for the stuff that he's been doing. Now, here's my thing. I said this before in my other video. I don't know why women, especially black women, watch Tommy Sotomayor, support Tommy Sotomayor. And actually, there was a lot of people in the chat. It was kind of disgusting. You could tell the people who were Tommy Sotomayor supporters, which they're two peas in a pod. They're also the Fresh and Fit podcast supporters. These men hate black women. Like, they have no drawbacks about talking about how much they despise black women, especially dark-skinned black women. Like, the self-hate is real for me, because I don't understand why anybody supports them. I really don't take anybody seriously who supports them, men, women. And, if you were one of those people, that's fine. This is how I feel. I make no apologies for it, because they're hateful people. And I don't understand it. And so I don't understand why Chay went on to Fresh and Pitch. Let's just stick with Dutty and Rank, because that's what we call them. Dutty and Rank show, knowing their history. She even said in Tasha K's interview that she went on there. This was her third time attending, guys. This was her third attendance to the show, so it's like, what you're gonna get. She said that she had previously been on the show making fun of, she called them porta potties, I think, women who go to Dubai to get, defecated on. Gross. We're not even gonna get into that. And so it was just a lot. It was a lot of stuff she was saying. But to me, why would you go on the show? Like, why would you even go on the show? What you do, for income, whether it's OnlyFans and stuff, I'm not here to judge her for that. That's her choice. It's her body. But I just feel like, why disrespect yourself by going on the show? Now she said she's telling other black women not to go on the show after what happened to her. Sweetheart, you been knew what these dudes was about. Just the other day, that lady Asian doll, if that's her name, I think, the one host disrespected her extremely. She also got escalated. This is what they want. So they can turn around and say, you're ratchet. We don't got no sense. It's just walk into the trap. Y'all know that damn Bush clip. Okay, fool me once, whatever. So it's just a mess. Okay. And then I would say, so Tasha K looked really good. But I could tell this was a very charged interview for her, as it would be for any respectable black woman. Let's be honest. Okay. These people are incredibly infuriated. Like I said, I don't take the Aunt Jemimas seriously who are out here shucking and jiving and mammying for them. You have no self-esteem. You got the people, the manosphere women. It's just pathetic. They're out there saying all this stuff, just saying, joining in with the misogyny and calling her a lying whore and just all kinds of stuff. It's like, yo, these women are pathetic and those men are pathetic. Okay, who are in the chat saying all this stuff. Like, how do you justify your own self-hatred and try to make it seem like you're better than people? You're not. Okay. So anyway, let's get into, I saw a few comments that stood out to me. One of the comments I'm going to show you here was when she was talking about how in the future she's going to tell the black women not to go on the show. One of the people said, listen, they can't strategize if you don't go. And this person is absolutely right. You don't have to worry about being plotted on if you don't go to the show, ladies. Like, just don't go. Don't support them. Period. And what came out in this interview, too, was that Tommy Sotomayor actually has a lot of sexual activity with black women, dark-skinned black women. They said that on his OnlyFans, there's a lot of this activity going on. So to me, people were saying, oh, he secretly loves them. I don't think that's what it is. So I think this other commenter made a good point. Sasha said he's sexually abusing them. Now, I don't know if I would say he's sexually abusing them, but I think along the lines of what I think Sasha is trying to say here is, don't think just because he's having sex with these women that he wants to be with them. Okay? I think that this is some type of, screwed up way of demeaning them, of getting back at black women. Just because he's having sex with them doesn't mean he desires them. Okay? I think it's a power play for him. And so these women, I just don't understand, again, why you'd want to be in his presence, let alone allowing this man, to have sex with you in any way, shape, or form. It just makes no sense to me. So to me, I just think this is his way of, continuing to play out his evil, misogynistic, and hateful practices. But these women are dumb who want to be with him, whether it's for money or not. I don't know. Ain't enough money in the world, child. So then one of the people who came up to ask questions, it really made me think of, y'all remember, was it M'Baku? Damn, what is the name? Y'all know what I'm talking about. Wakanda Forever. I can't think of the name right now. Black Panther. And there was a scene where there was this white dude and he was trying to give his input. And y'all know M'Baku and his crew were all about blackity black, everything. And he was like, you cannot talk here. That shit stuck with me till this day. And that's basically what they were saying. There was a woman on Fresh and Fit, aka Dotian Rank's podcast, who I don't know if she was white. She looked white, but she was starting to get in between Tommy and Shay's argument. And what they were talking about were deep things related to the black community. And so basically Shay put her on park, excuse me, no, I'm having this conversation with him. And I really felt her in that moment, because I felt like that was a really inappropriate time for that woman to interject herself. And she didn't have any place in that conversation, period, because of the content of the conversation. So one of the women who came up, they had mentioned that, they had really saluted Shay for really saying this to this woman. I also agree. So there was a couple other things I want to point out that stood out to me. So Tasha K at one point said, do you have brothers? Do you have uncles? I know where Tasha's going with this, but Tasha K, child, listen, you just beat a whole damn case. They're going to look at it as you trying to incite violence and stuff, encourage her to do violence. Let her handle her business. She going to have to deal with court. Okay, whatever happens to Tommy as a result of the shenanigans he pulled on the show happens to him, okay? But I just think we have to be careful, and let's not put, brothers and uncles in harm's way by encouraging them to go do some violence and stuff, even if that other person had it coming. Now, one of the first people who came up there to ask questions mentioned that she's noticed that people like Dutty and Rank, They don't have the caliber of black women they have on their show tend to be younger women. I didn't really like the way she broke it down. She made it sound like it was young, uneducated women, because she was like, oh, I have 2 bachelor's degrees. Ma'am, that's great that you have 2 bachelor's degrees. Salute to you, but you don't have to put down other people in the process, okay? Just because they don't have multiple bachelor's degrees doesn't mean they're not intelligent and articulate. And so I think what she was really trying to say, what she corrected herself later, was a lot of the women they invite are naive, which I agree with. I can't speak for all of them, but I'm going to say some of them are naive if they're willing to kind of go into the lion's den here, okay? And so she was saying that they're not going to invite people like Paris Milan, Tasha K, Cynthia G, but those tend to be women who, Paris Milan is similar too, who will have a lot to say about certain black men in the community, okay? And when it comes to Sinji, it don't seem like she like any black men at all. So it sounds like she was trying to say they're not going to invite certain people who are going to have a voice, who are going to articulate themselves in a certain way, who are going to have maybe a little bit more emotional regulation and control. And that's a very good point that woman made. In terms of, some of the other people who came up there was this one woman, I actually skipped past her questions because she was a whole mammy, okay? She was a self-hating black woman, and she came up there and she was saying all this stuff, and her line of questioning was just very disrespectful. And then she even tried to justify Tommy fighting back. Here's my thing. I'm one of those people who believe men should never put their hands on women. Now, this woman should have never swung at Tommy. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't... He didn't try to hit you. He was using words. You could have walked away. I probably would have gotten up and left. If I knew that I was at a point where I was going to punch you in your throat, then I'm going to escort myself out. That's what I would have did. Okay. Now, she did put her hands on him. And I feel like when men are in that situation, the first choice should be to leave the premises if you can. Get away from the situation. If you cannot leave, then if you need to gently restrain the person to stop them from harming you, that's another option. Okay, I don't think under any circumstances you should be swinging back at people, fighting people, because no matter what people say, most men, okay, they can overpower women to some degree, depending on a lot of factors, right? Sometimes that might be a different case, but, I just don't think men should be sitting up there trying to fight women. Now, I will say this, if somebody's life is in danger, if a woman is coming at them with a weapon or, whatever, their life is actually in danger, then there may be other things they need to do to protect their life, right? I can understand that, but this is not the case. Like I said, she did swing at him first. She said that Tommy pushed Myron into her. I don't know. That's going to be up to the judge to look at that video and decide. But either way, I can understand why she got mad. I can understand why she lost it on him because of the things that he was saying. So overall, the interview in the beginning, I felt like I said, it was very charged for Tasha K, and there were times I felt like she was cutting off the interviewee. And I think it's because she just, like many of us, we have a lot of thoughts and feelings about men like Sotomayor, men like Dotian Rank. It's infuriating. But at the same time, you brought her up there to tell her story. So I want to know what you guys think. Did you guys watch this Tasha K interview? How did you feel? Were you annoyed by some of the people that you also saw in the chat? There were also really good people in the chat. I think Jessica X went up there. She was on some mammy bullshit too, but she's from the manosphere. I'm going to say this now, and I'm probably going to get a lot of hate in the comments for it. Don't care. You'll be deleted. I can't stand the manosphere, okay? It feels like a country club for black people. It feels like you're trying to say, we're better than everybody else, and these other women are this and that, and we're just going to worship at the feet of the... Girl, bye. Sir, bye. It's not that deep, okay? A lot of the men that I observe from the manosphere are very misogynistic, okay? I don't understand why women throw themselves at these type of men. Kevin Samuels, Dotian Rank. I think even Kwame Brown is part of the manosphere. Gross. This is all I got to say. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.